I don't even think I went live. I just think we just went live now. I just clicked on the live button now. Doesn't matter. At least we got on Instagram. So I don't even think that, a lot of these guys want to know. You know, I don't think they want to know,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because they can't handle it. What do you think? They don't want to know, do they?
No, they don't. I don't think they really want to know. I think they'd rather just, I'm sure there are guys out there that can't rest
Right,
until they know.
right,
But
right, right,
I think in general, I think men and women, I think in general, we just prefer to in anything that's going to hurt us or hinder us from moving on and moving forward.
right,
We prefer not to know.
right,
We prefer to just
right,
let sleeping dogs lie, as they
right,
say.
right. When it comes to us, do we really prefer not to know? Is there a possibility that we could say, and I've said this before, be honest with me if you want to do something outside, right?
Yeah,
I've even given
yeah,
condoms, use condoms, do whatever you need to do. And
yeah,
I I believe that I'm being practical, that when I'm giving you a condom, I'm telling you, be safe. Don't bring anything back.
yeah,
And I realize
yeah.
that the chances of you doing something is high. So I'm trying to say, use a condom. Now, do they use a condom? Uh, I don't know about that, but I'm trying to send the message home. Please take it, put it in your pocket, keep it in your wallet, and don't give me that excuse that, oh, I didn't have a condom. But you should have a condom. I think we should have condoms too, right? In our purses,
Yeah,
right?
for sure. Yeah,
Now, of
yeah, for
course,
sure.
you can imagine them finding a condom in our purse. That might drive them berserk too, drive them crazy. I really don't know if, that is a good idea for some women, depending again on the guy, right?
Yeah, it really depends on the relationship. It
Yes,
really does,
yes, 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 yes.
because I mean, a lot of men and women, after you reached a certain age, you've been through
So
some relationships.
yes,
Yeah, you just don't want any negativity. You don't want any drama. So if you're with somebody and they feel the need to be with someone else or whatever, as long as they come home, as long as they're taking care of their responsibilities, and it's like, hey, if I don't know about it, what I don't know, that can't hurt
right,
me,
right, right. Now you're saying if the guy strays, if the guy cheats,
Yes, if the guy's yeah, if he's, well, I think either way, men or women
Mhm.
can either of us can get to a place where we just say, "Hey, I don't really care so much if you're cheating, just so long as our relationship at home is stable and we're both being positive and we're both doing everything we're supposed to do to work towards our goals."
Right, right.
You know?
But I can tell you that sometimes things happen and then it becomes a bigger problem, right? So what
Yeah,
if a child gets born or
yeah.
gets
You got
involved in the picture? So then
yeah,
that is a complete disaster. So
yeah,
there's no way to hide that, right? Even though and you
right.
can't say it's his because he's not around. So it can't be your partner's because he hasn't been around in the
Yeah,
last,
that's yeah.
even though 6 months,
Yeah,
has to be
you'd have
9 months, right?
you yeah, no, you definitely have to take precautions if you're whether you're in a relationship or
Right,
not. If you're having sex with multiple
right,
partners, you've got to take precaution. You got to be
right,
safe.
right. But there's some women that very easily,
Yeah, fertile myrtles.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah,
And they're the
yeah,
ones that, you know, like to be intimate and they can just bring up these babies and then they don't realize that there's a plan B, that there are things you can do to
yeah,
mitigate that, to make sure it doesn't happen. And then next, they didn't, the window to take the plan B is gone and then they have to make a decision as to what else they're going to do. And now with the new Georgia laws, it's so much more difficult to do anything. But
yeah,
that is the worst case scenario, and it can happen to the guy, it can happen to the girl. So that's another thing one has to take into consideration. But some people will know how to handle it and some will not know how to handle it. But again, if there's a chance and you're that sort of person, I really, really would, like you said, do something about it. You can take, precautions before that happens, right?
Yeah.
But I do know, I do have cases where, that has happened and they don't know who the father is. And then they have to go through all that drama and then it affects the relationship forever, forever. Some
Yeah.
men will stay in that relationship and some men will not stay. Most men will leave, of course. But once in a blue moon, you'll see a man, a good man that will stay and say, you know what, it was my fault. I was away. And you know that, right? But most
Yeah.
guys don't know. And
Right.
I don't want to treat that lightly, but if they don't know, and then when the child's 18, they find out, then that's another, oh my gosh, very, very,
Another Pandora's box.
oh, dangerous situation for anybody in that situation. So you definitely don't want to go
Yeah.
down that road. Well, you know, like I said, you have to be able to sleep at night, right? And as
Yeah.
long as you have no guilty conscience that you're doing something that is going to tear you up, I would definitely say, if you feel free and you feel that you are able to handle it, fine. Now,
Yeah.
I know some people will ask, are you married to this guy or you're just partners, long-term partners?
We're
You're
married.
married. Okay, cool. So this is your husband we're talking about.
Yes.
Now, so that's different for people.
It does create a different dynamic in
Yes,
general.
yes,
Um,
yes. So, some people say husband and wife, no. And they're going to start getting upset with me, Dr. Kathy. You're not supposed to encourage a husband and a wife to, for someone to step out of a relationship.
yeah.
And so the husband and wife status does make a humongous difference. So when I talk about this, I'm talking about non-married. I am supporting non-married. Once you're married, I have to say, you know what? You can't do it because
Yeah.
it's breaking, of course, the vows that both of you shared. So, but if you're not married, some people say it's the same thing as being married. And I'm like, I'm sorry, it's not. That piece of paper makes a big difference. Now, that's my personal opinion that
Yeah.
a marriage is going to make it. Don't do it because of legal ramifications. But if you're in a long-term relationship, if you do it, it's less significant. Now, I could be wrong. What do you think about that? That's a tough one, but what do you think?
Well, I've met people who were in open marriages,
Right,
so I
right,
guess
right.
I
Yeah, open marriages, but you're not in an open
I
marriage.
guess
You're not in an open marriage.
not necessarily, no. So I think there's a spectrum of, how the openness to monogamous, I think there's definitely a spectrum. And
Agreed.
I'm not really sure where I fall
Right,
at the moment. I'm
right,
somewhere in there,
right, right. Definitely
somewhere
not.
between faithful and
Definitely
unfaithful.
not on this side. Definitely not on this side where it's more strict. Definitely on the looser definition of monogamish or monogamy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm trying to, trying to keep my moral compass intact,
right,
but
right. But this is a big difference. This is an area where most people are going to say nope. If you're married, no. And of course, because I am in an area where the Bible is very important, the Bible Belt, right? I would have to
right,
say, you know what, in a marriage, no. But we both know it happens whether you're married or not. Happens on both sides. More, I believe, on the man's side than on the woman's side, right? And we have to accept that, right? Um,
yeah.
and some women don't accept it. I really do believe that you should give three chances. I've always said that. Have you ever heard me say three chances? No?
Uh-uh.
Yeah. I believe you've got to give three chances. And I wish the men would give three chances to the women too, right? So the
Yeah,
first time you catch him cheating, her or him, you go berserk, you go nuts, you scream, you shout, you punish the person, but you forgive. The person has to do everything that they can, everything that they know how to make it up to you, to convince you that they're sorry. Now, if they're not sorry and they don't um, show that they're sorry, or they've been flagrant and they did it just in front of you or almost in front of you, no, you don't give them three chances. But if they're
Right.
really sorry and they want to make it up and they want to get back together, that's the first chance. All right. I just say you forgive them the first time, especially if he's got most of the, boxes checked. If he's, you know,
Yeah. If he's been a pretty good guy up to this
woo,
point.
if
Yeah.
he's somebody worth fighting for, I'm like, add those pros and cons together, check and see, is this guy worth it? Definitely giving him a first, pass, right? I'll forgive him the first time. Second time, it's going to be more difficult, but I will forgive the second time. And I do tell my patients forgive the second time, especially if the guy has some issue. And when I say issue, it could be medical issue, it could be psychological issue, it could be a sexual issue. This guy could be, like that all his life, and then it's only when he hits 80 that he slows down. And you married him like that, knowing this, because most women know whether their guy cheats or not, right? They have an inkling at least,
Sure.
and they still get to
Yeah.
marry and stay with the guy. And people that do that have to say, okay, you know what? There's a chance it's going to happen in their marriage. The
Yeah.
third time, I'm walking out the door. So walking out the door is again tough because if he checks all the boxes, that's a tough one. But the third one, you should be walking out the door. The only reason
Right.
you would not walk out the door is if he is able to promise, swear, take you on a cruise or take you out of the country, take you wherever you want to go to the moon, and convinces you that it won't happen again, right? So I'd like to give three chances, but that third chance, I'm walking out the door. I'm really, probably not going to give a third chance. But if again,
Yeah.
he's someone that you're truly in love with and you want to give him another chance, I'm going to say you're gonna have to give another chance. Why? Because there are women giving 100 chances. What is
Yeah.
three
That's
chances?
true.
There are women giving 10 chances, 20 chances, 100 chances, and we go back to our parents. That's what they did. They turned a blind eye.
Yeah.
And they didn't leave.
Yeah.
And I know I shouldn't quote this, but Hillary Clinton didn't leave. And how many times did it happen to her? More than once. And I know I shouldn't bring
Right.
that up, but to me, she did the right thing. Did he not mark all
Yeah.
the boxes?
Yeah. Bill Clinton was kind of the catch
For anybody. For anybody.
for
Woo,
anybody. Yeah. For
right?
anybody. You know.
But again,
You can't blame Monica either.
wait. What do you mean you can't blame Monica?
You can't blame her for falling for the
Who
guy.
hasn't? I know someone that met him. They say that he is just
Just all
amazing,
charm and charisma, huh?
amazing in person. That's what I've heard. But Monica, of course, is one of those women that goes after what she wants. So when a woman's like that, she's going to do that. And that's why I believe you should not give up your marriage. There are women out there that will
Mm.
hunt for your man and want you to walk away so that she can step into your shoes. And
Yeah.
that's one thing I do not accept. You do not do that. And in Europe, this is a lot more accepted, mistresses
Yeah.
cheating. Here it's of course taboo, but more in America, in Europe, you see women that have mistresses and their mistresses and their side chicks and they accept it and the wife accepts it and knows, right? And
Yeah.
so that is
Yeah.
more of a liberal country and a lot more practical and a lot more realistic. They cannot get over how in America here we are so stuck up with being in monogamous relationship. They're just like they can't believe it, that you guys don't realize it's really not possible, or it's usually not possible. It's possible but rare, right? So
Right.
if you go to Europe, that's the way they live. They accept it, and you have to forgive. Not that it's routine and disrespected out there, but people know and don't talk about it or accept it and just keep it moving and don't give up their family because of an affair, right?
Right.
Now,
Correct.
in this case, it's different because we're women and they don't want to forgive us, but I believe that men should forgive women too. And I have heard men say that they will forgive. And I love when I hear that because it means that
Yeah.
they're mature enough to know that it's not easy to find a good woman. And if she did it, it's because of something he did, most likely, because women don't do it without a reason. You know,
Right.
you're there,
Right.
we're
We're
going to
not
be faithful.
we don't lay awake at night thinking of ways that we can cheat.
That's
It's
right.
not.
That's not our thing. We have too many other things
Yeah.
to do. That is not our thing.
Yeah.
So if it's going to happen,
Yeah.
it's because of something that he's created, some loneliness, some neglect, some traveling a lot, busy. I've known guys that travel and leave their woman at home, and of course these women are going to be lonely and meet the pool cleaner or the guy, the security man or whatever.
The pizza delivery guy.
Oh, I'm a delivery guy, the milk guy too, right? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the milkman.
UPS, FedEx,
Oh
we hear
my.
these stories. And unfortunately, that's because of not taking care of your woman. Now, obviously, man has to make money, that some of them have to travel. And so they're going to
Yeah.
rely and want us to be faithful. So the answer is do your best to be faithful and be faithful. But,
Yeah.
you know, the guy has to make it up. He's got to know 2 months, that's too much, right?
Yeah.
So
Right.
my I hope my answer was sort of helpful in that, you as long as you can sleep at night, you're fine. You have to make that decision based on your own morals and your own conscience. But if it's going to tear you up, if it's going to make you feel bad and that you can't, you know, I don't want to say hide it, but you can't keep it a secret, then don't do it. I would say if
Yeah.
you can make sure
Yeah.
it's something that was discreet and not the norm, and you're not going to fall for the guy, and you're not going to get pregnant. So all those side effects that can happen, those horrible things that can happen, you don't want
Right.
um, you don't want to have any guilt when you do get back together again,
Right.
and you really want to
Right.
make sure that he does not find out, because if he does, it will definitely change the dynamics. But if you're lucky,
Yeah.
he might be one of those that will give you three chances, which is what I hope for all of my patients and all my friends and myself and everybody in the world. Get three chances. Everyone should get, I wish it was a law, three chances, at least. The question now is when it
Yeah.
goes to 4, 5, 6, 7, and 9, 10, then it becomes, you know, a risk for your life. But
Yeah.
people do stay because that's all they have. So, hey, gotta
Yeah.
take into consideration the whole picture and see, where you fall and what the best decision is for you in the long run, right? But thank you
Right.
so much for joining us today and asking me that question. I hope my guests were all pretty riled up because I see all the questions that they're asking and comments they're making. But
Thank
thank
you
you
for
so much,
having
my
me.
love. Yes, I wish you the best. And like I said, I think you'll be fine. I think you're experienced enough to know and handle this sort of situation and make sure that he'll have no clue when he gets back. Okay.
Okay.
Good to see you, my love. All right. Take care.
All
Thank
right.
you.
See you later.
Bye. Mwah. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.